Welcome to Neighborly Natalie. I'm Natalie Parsons, hanging out in your town in Metairie over at St. Clement of Rome School, where I got to hang out with Mrs. Thompson's third grade students, and boy oh boy, are they some of the brightest kids that I've ever met. Absolutely amazing. We got goofy, we did some singing and dancing, we spoke National Hurricane Preparedness Week, severe weather, radar, a variety of different topics. I even gave them some insider information. So if I ever can't go working, I think I have some little munchkins who can go filling in for me. We had so much fun, and they actually had me come as an addition to their weather curriculum. Over the last week or so, they were working on some projects where they were talking about some clouds, and we did go into further detail about clouds. So I just want to say thank you so much to these kiddos and Mrs. Thompson, as well as St. Clement of Rome School, for having me. Such an honor always getting out into the community and just getting to spend time with our youth. Of course, I came bearing gifts, cute as could be. Here's some pictures of them being goofy, and then look at this gift that they gave me. Oh my God, just melt my heart. Love them so much, and I had to go sharing this experience with you. If you are a parent, or you're a teacher, or you're an administrator and you want me to come hang out with your students, I know a lot of the schools are ending for the year, but we'll be back in action late summer, early fall and whatnot, and if you want me to come hang out with your kiddos, shoot me an email at nparsons@wgno.com, and I will never ever ever say no. Don't go anywhere, because we have more Neighborly Natalie on the way, specifically Furry Friends, and that we're going to go making over at the Louisiana SPCA. Welcome back to Neighborly Natalie. We are here at the Louisiana SPCA, Furry Friends, and that we are definitely making. We have a familiar face, Duggen, here with a absolutely mesmerizing puppy. But first, I want to mention that last episode's pupster Dexter, still available for adoption, looking for his forever home over at the Clackman's campus. So please check him out. But let's get right into this cutie.
Yeah, this is Frankie, and he's young. He's, I think maybe 8 or 9 months. He was actually found roaming a neighborhood, and one of our lovely fosters, Jan, found him, brought him in to make sure he didn't have a home. And she actually is now fostering him because he was considered a stray. Ton of training with him. So she started the foster class that we're doing here. And so he's learning his sits, his downs, his eye contact, his leave-its, his stays.
Can you talk a little about that? Because as a foster, you don't always have a background in training dogs, but that is one of your special roles as a foster.
Yeah, so what ends up happening is I want to make sure that I can give the foster dogs and the foster parents a good outlet for any sort of issues that are happening, and just set the dogs up to succeed in terms of training. So if we can say, hey, this foster dog has lived in a home and has had X, Y, and Z type of training, it's really going to make them a better candidate to be adopted.
Absolutely. I mean, I think people are probably turned off by certain behaviors and unstoppable jumping, especially if you have kids. That'll make people turn away from a dog.
Oh, yes.
How old is Frankie?
I would say about 9 months.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, he's got some puppy in him still, but the training is working well, so he's able to kind of settle and leave things now. But he's still working on some skills. He's still working on, leash walking and
Come here, Frankie.
Jumping and all that sort of stuff.
Can we see your face? I want the viewers to see your absolutely mesmerizing eyes. They are like crystal blue. I like, you may catch a little glimpse right there, but he is so good looking. Where do you think his perfect or ideal forever home would be?
Well, yeah, I mean, so he's currently doing okay. I mean, doing fine in his foster home, and that he's got a decent amount of alone time and everything. So he's learning how to cope with being, crated and getting some alone time. So
somebody working, not at home,
could do it.
Potential.
I think ideally, I would say, he's young and active. So making sure that somebody has time to take him for a few decent walks a day, give him mental enrichment, that sort of stuff. So I think he could fit into any home, but an active home would be the best for him.
Come here. I'm scooting you over so he can see you.
Wrong end.
What are you labeling him as? Because he looks like he could maybe have little boxer. I mean, the snout to me is boxer, and the ears too.
Right. Well,
but you never know.
I mean, he's probably going to be labeled as a pit mix.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if, with those eyes, like what kind of breeds have that? I mean, Huskies do.
But he doesn't look husky.
He doesn't. But if you cover his face and just look at those eyes, he might be. But I would say Terrier would be the main way I would lump him, and he's definitely got that sort of personality where he's active when he wants to be, and then it seems like he chills out pretty well.
Oh, that's
as
awesome.
well.
Because puppies, you know, people have this mentality that like puppies are unstoppable. And his tongue is just the funniest thing ever. It just hangs out, and it's like the longest dog tongue I have ever seen in my life. But you know what? It makes him him, and it makes him so unique. So this is Frankie. We also have to go. We've been kind of depriving our feline fanatic friends. There are a few. We specifically have Elmo, which you even mentioned you liked.
Yep.
Real cutie. This cat was just purring and very vocal when I was coming into the Louisiana SPCA. There's also another little baby cat that's adorable, white mixed colored, and then there were even like a few other black cats right as soon as you come in.
Yes.
So if you're looking for a little feline, no matter the age, the Louisiana SPCA has you covered. So you, being your specialty is training, we have a few things that we're going to go talking about this week.
Yeah. So in terms of like manners, so, you know, something we've taught him today was eye contact, sit. We started working on down.
Eye contact.
So that's a cool thing.
Continue, because I'm always intrigued.
Well,
show us your ways, almighty one.
So eye contact, you know, getting it onto a verbal cue. So watch. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, signal and then reward. Try that again. Watch. Good. And just rewarded for that because did it right on the verbal cue, so no hand signal needed. Watch. Good boy. And teaching this is important because we want to make sure we can get our dog's attention in distracting environments. Watch. Good boy. Nice. And then also we've worked on sit with him. So he's obviously sitting now, but I want to be able to ask him, sit. If it doesn't happen, good boy, it happened, I reward. If it doesn't happen, I'm going to follow with my hand signal. So let's see, I'll get him up again. Frankie, sit. Good boy. No hand signal needed. But I'll show you all down as well because he's not there for his verbal cue yet. So I'm going to show you the sequence. Frankie, down. It would have been funny if he would have done it that time. And now I'm going to signal. Good boy. And then I reward. And the idea behind that is using the verbal cue and then showing him what comes next, which is the hand signal. He eventually will catch on to the sequence. Down. And it won't be today. But this is the sequence that we follow. Good boy. Eventually, he'll do it upon hearing down.
Let's see it again.
Here we go. So, Frankie, down. If he doesn't do it, follow with the hand signal and then reward. Okay. And then I can get him back up by saying, Frankie, sit. Good boy.
He's doing such a good job.
Reward him for that. And then again, down. Give him a couple seconds to respond. If it doesn't happen, signal. Get your ear licked. And are you going to do it? I'm going to wait as long as I have to for him to lay down.
Okay. So if they don't react right away, it's not like a terrible thing.
Not the end of the world. As long as he's still sitting, I actually keep the hand signal here. And I keep avoiding the tongue to the ear. Good boy. And then the reward happens.
What good puppy dog.
So when teaching it, it's very common to want to repeat the hand signal, repeat the verbal cue. But we want to just be patient. As long as we still have our dog's attention, we can just wait for something to happen. If they do it, we reward. If they don't, we say, oh, too bad, and we try again.
So here's a question. In terms of training, like, is there a length of time that you could give to people as to about how long it takes to teach a dog, like, basics?
Yeah, I mean, if you spend like 5 minutes a day and you work on some different steps that we have like at the classes or private training, within a couple of weeks, you'll have a dog that can respond in situations where you need them to. So there'll still be more work to do, but just really within a couple of weeks, you can have some pretty good skills.
So it's fast and it's not particularly something where like, oh my gosh, I just don't have like the sufficient time. You said how long? 5 minutes?
5 minutes
minimal?
a day. Yeah.
That's minimal. Anybody can do that. As long as you love your pet. I mean, you're snuggling them for like 5 minutes, so you can kind of like have a little fun. And a lot of times dogs will absolutely love the stimulation and just learning, and they eventually kind of have a thirst for it. So they get very intrigued by it and will absolutely love it.
Exactly. When you have to feed your dog anyway, so you can just use their food for training. So put some in your pocket, ask them to do some sits, give them food.
That's an idea.
Right, Frankie? Kibble. And have them on you, and then, come here, Frankie, sit. And give a couple kibble, and then move over here. Frankie, watch. Good. And reward. So he's got to eat it anyway. You might as well just use it.
That's a good tip. Okay, and so another issue that people may come across is especially with a little puppy or a dog that's come from a scenario that you're not fully sure of, aggression can kind of be a thing. But a lot of times it's a behavior that can be kind of nipped in the bud. So what advice do you have in that aspect?
Yeah, I mean, so we think of dogs, we get them, sometimes we hear them growl or bark and we go, oh, this dog's acting aggressively. Is there help? Is there hope? Is there any help? And the short answer is yeah, we can actually take things that are making them nervous or act aggressively and break it into steps, but turn those things into predictors of good stuff. And so let's say Frankie doesn't like it when I touch his head, which he doesn't have a problem with that. But I might reach toward him and then treat him. And then I can do that a bunch of times. And before long, I can actually touch his head. And then something good happens. And he'll start going, hey, I don't mind when you touch my head. Okay. That's just a quick example.
It's a learned behavior that they have to get used to.
Exactly. So most of the time, we can figure it out, break it into steps, build positive associations, and we can get them in a better place.
I love it. What other... I know we spoke about, basics, also aggression. What other topics did you want to talk about today?
Well, one of the things too is sometimes aggression is...
Talking too.
Talking, yeah. But like sometimes it's not even aggression, it just looks like it. So sometimes it's just frustration. So a dog might be barking, lunging on leash, and it's like, whoa, are you upset? But really, they're just frustrated, and what they really want is to go and greet the thing, whether it be a dog or person.
Oh.
But they're just carrying on because they can't, because they're on leash behind a fence. So as soon as you remove those things, they can run right up and they feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not actually aggression, it's just frustration.
That is true. Like, okay, story time. When I was little, my family had an Akita. This dog, bigger than me at the point in time. I was really, really little. And I even have some pictures of me just laying across this dog. Loved me, loved my siblings. But one day, I guess it was rainy or something, and my mom had an umbrella or I don't know, a black bag or something. This dog absolutely freaked out. And we ended up bringing the dog to a shelter. And looking back, it's we didn't have to get rid of that dog. That was a behavior. The dog was talking. The dog wasn't being mean. The dog was scared of an umbrella or a black bag.
Yeah.
Well,
but we just do the best we can do, especially we can't change
not
the
bitter
past.
about it at all.
Yeah, but you know what? Now we know a lot more than we used to know. So we can say, my dog, you can look online. My dog was acting this way. Why is it? Mm-hmm. And then there's answers, some of it not good answers, some great answers, your dog was afraid.
Yeah.
Help them build a positive association.
Yeah.
So.
Not bitter at all. Still not over that one. That dog was so cute. I'm sorry. 38, still not over stuff that happened in my childhood.
Yeah, that's life. I'm there.
All right, so we had a lot of fun here like always. My favorite day of the week, hanging out at the Louisiana SPCA, meeting a new fur baby. This is Frankie in need of a forever home. Was there anything else that you wanted to touch on or let our viewers know about?
We've got a lot of wonderful resources on the website. Under the resources tab, if you click on it, there's a lot of information on crate training, how to decrease barking. You name it, there are resources on there. So that way, if you're having an issue, look for those. And then if anybody's having any sort of issues that need more detailed help, I'm here. I can help.
Mastermind, Dog Whisperer, I did implement because my little puppers is a barker, and you told me about doing leave it and stuff like that, and we've been implementing it, and it's seeing some improvement little by little. She still is a min pin, so she's got a big mouth, but you just got to start improving, and then you start seeing the positive change. So thank you for that.
Consistency is key.
Yes. Well, don't go anywhere because we have more Neighborly Natalie on the way, specifically with Whattttt NOLA. Welcome back to Neighborly Natalie. This is Whattttt NOLA, the portion of the show where you, the viewer, has control over the conversation. It's very, very social media interactive. Bi-weekly, we will go seeing a posting like this on my social media pages, Facebook and Instagram in particular, letting you know that submissions are open for all your questions, comments, and sound-offs. You can either go commenting them or sending me a message directly with them. And then also, I've been getting into the habit of every Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. doing a Facebook Live to chat with you about weather, various topics, and also about the upcoming Neighborly Natalie Whattttt NOLA portion of the show to see if I can entice you to give me more questions. So, taking a look at the questions that we have for this edition, we're going to kind of keep revisiting this question until my little G monster is feeling a bit better, because it seems like every week to 2 weeks we have a new update. In the last episode, I mentioned that we had went for a follow-up sonogram, and I learned that little Ginger has a enlarged liver, lymph nodes, she had abdominal fluid, and she just was not feeling well at all. She had to go on a low-fat diet and whatnot, and she was also given a regimen of doxycycline and prednisone for 2 weeks, and we went in for another follow-up which was another sonogram, which cost me additional money. This girl is really high maintenance, but it's okay because I love her. But yeah, so we had that additional sonogram and we had some positives and few things. The positive is that we have, in the doctor's wording, we have 100% resolution in terms of the abdominal fluid, so that is no longer a thing, but she is still dealing with an enlarged liver, enlarged lymph nodes, and all that stuff. So instead of lessening the dosage of the doxy and the prednisone, she's still on the same dosage she was on. I'm hoping that we have some additional improvement to come within the next 2 weeks because, yes, we have another follow-up sonogram. I will say that she's doing a lot better in terms of eating. I found that the whole low-fat diet thing was just an absolute challenge. For a little while there, I was actually making her food. I was buying turkey from Trader Joe's and I was actually making it for her. So my work weekend, or my work Sunday, as I called it, was basically me cooking my food for the week and then the little furry baby's food. And I did that for about a week and a half. And actually this past weekend, I was like, okay, Gigi, mommy needs a little break. So I found a brand called Just Food for Dogs, and they have this like wettish food. You could use it as either a topper or you could use it as the main course, and it seems to entice her. So what I do is I give her a scrambled egg in the morning, which she usually freaks out for, and then in the evening I give her the Just Food for Dogs, and so far so good. I will say another like negative is that she has dropped a lot of weight. Initially, I think before the first time that we went to the vet with all these health shenanigans, she was like 17 pounds, and the last visit that we had, she actually went down to 14 pounds, which is 1 pound more than what she was when I fostered her, which is a scary number to go thinking about because she was very, very skinny and kind of like sickly at that point, and I don't like that. So I'm hoping things get better. I don't want my little girl to be sick, but so far we are seeing some improvements, so keep praying for her, and hopefully we can put this whole health thing to rest and she can feel better. And she is perkier, so that's good. She's kind of running around a little bit more. And actually, after I'd say the first week on the antibiotic, I went home from work one day and she actually was like barking at me to come and get her from the bedroom. So that was a big sign that girlfriend was feeling better. So prayers and positive vibes for my girl continued. And of course, I'll keep you posted in the next episode of Whattttt NOLA so you can stay in the know for everything in that aspect. Moving on to this next question, I will say we're gonna get very tropical, trendy in this episode. Randy's asking, there's topic to talk about on your show, the rules used to retire a hurricane name. So I kind of was actually wondering this, and I wasn't quite sure exactly what the criteria was for that. So taking you to hearing it right from the horse's mouth, we're going to take a look at the National Hurricane Center's website where they go talking about retired hurricane names since 1954. They specifically go saying that the National Hurricane Center does not control the naming of tropical storms. Instead, a strict procedure has been established by an international committee of the World Meteorological Organization. For Atlantic hurricanes, there is a list of names for each of 6 years. In other words, one list is repeated every 6th year. The only time that there is a change is if a storm is so deadly or costly that the future use of its name or a different storm would be appropriate for obvious reasons of sensitivity. If that occurs, then at an annual meeting by the committee, the offending name is removed. But yeah, so there are different names, of course, for different areas of our oceans. You have the Atlantic Ocean, the Caribbean Sea, and all that stuff. But taking a look specifically at retired Atlantic names, and by the years, you can see that this list started in 1954. And of course, it goes all the way to 2025. The name for last year that has been omitted moving forward is the name Melissa. You could see that back in 2005, of course, Katrina is on there. That name will no longer ever be used again. And then looking at 2012, Sandy, the hurricane that I was on Long Island for, that has also been omitted. So it's just so crazy that we're even talking about hurricane season because it is just around the corner. We are in May and hurricane season starts in June. So these are the names for the upcoming hurricane season. Quite a few interesting ones. Hurricane Dolly, that could be an interesting one. I could definitely picture all the memes that we will see on social media. Joking aside, you'll probably see, satellite images of this hurricane if it happens, and then with Dolly's head on it, because social media is just ridiculous. But overall, we have quite a few names here. Hopefully, none of these turn into hurricanes. That is the goal. The National Hurricane Center is predicting that this upcoming hurricane season will be below average. So hopefully, that holds to be true, because I know this area does not like anything like that. And you know, as somebody that works in weather, sometimes you do want to go seeing a hurricane because it is what we kind of live for, but at the same time, I don't want to I don't want to experience it, because I know that this area has been through a lot, so we don't need a repeat. So hopefully below average, thank you very much. Moving on to the next question, it is another topic in regards to tropical storms and hurricanes and whatnot, and this one in particular, I really had to go thinking about. So this one is coming from Matt. He's asking, we all don't care for hurricanes, but what about your favorite hurricane snacks when we do need that 3 to 5 day supply? Ha ha ha. Once again, hopefully we don't go needing that 3 to 5 day supply. I actually went thinking about this question really, really hard, because I have a bunch of food sensitivity things, and so what I can go eating is a little bit restricted than the average person. So I was kind of like, if we have a hurricane and we lose electricity, I think I'm kind of going to be living like a bird. In particular, I mean, at first I was thinking about the typical things that I go eating. Like today for my dinner, one of my work meals for this week is actually a bunch of chopped ground beef, and I have it with gnocchi, which is an Italian type dish. It's potato in some sort of way. I don't really understand how they go making it, but it's really good, and you can actually purchase the gnocchi already made over at Whole Foods. And then I go putting some like vegetables into the mix, and then I have some tomato sauce too, and it's just super good. It's like one of my favorite things. And then something else that I make on the daily is, or weekly basis rather, I have these, initially the recipe started out as this like chocolate chip cake that my mom used to go making, and then once my like sensitivities came around, I kind of had to modify it a bit, and it's now made with almond flour. I do still use the chocolate chips. I also don't use any milk ingredients in it. Instead I use olive oil, and then instead of like butter or whatever, I just kind of do a little extra oil. So it's very much modified for me. And then also I just like absolutely load it up with peanut butter, but I'm not talking like Skippy, I'm talking straight up organic peanut butter. So that's all it is. And so basically it turns into this like peanut butter chocolate bar, and it's absolutely delicious, but you need an oven for that. And if we have a hurricane and our power's knocked out, I don't think I'll be having that. So I made a list of things that I will probably be opting for. I won't be able to do any sort of bread because my gluten-free bread is always frozen, so that's not an option. I'm thinking probably non-perishable items, particularly tuna out of a can. I'm kind of laughing with this list. Tuna out of a can, probably living off of walnuts, almonds, like I said, basically eating like a bird. Beef jerky may become my best friend, or I could even go seeing myself being that person walking around with like a mixed salad bag and just like eating out of that. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be an adventure if I have to go coming up with 3 to 5 days of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I was thinking that usually, I don't know how I'll be able to have coffee. I mean, I'm a big coffeeholic, so that could be an issue. But I figured that I would probably be okay with drinking coconut water every day, because that's like a biggie for me. I usually have half of a lemon squeezed out with coconut water, and then I do a splash of like this cranberry palm juice that I go getting. So it's very flavorful, it's super delicious. I think maybe during a scenario like this, I may have to opt out of the cranberry palm stuff. But yeah, something else that I don't know what I'm gonna do with my little G-Monster. So I mentioned earlier that usually she gets a scrambled egg in the morning. So if I have to go making her a scrambled egg, I usually make myself one. And lately I've been getting into the habit of doing this like waffle scrambled egg sandwich. That is definitely not hurricane snack appropriate. So I really have to get thinking on this. Matt, this was such a stumping question, and it made me realize that even though I do work in the wonderful world of weather, and we've been talking about National Hurricane Preparedness Week earlier this month, I think that I myself need to get my butt together and work on preparing myself, because this question made me very, very, very much realizing that I'm not. So thank you for that. Call to action, very much appreciated. So super fun questions this week, a little stumping to bit. Also, I did go learning a bit too as well. Please go participating, because this entire segment is only able to be done if you, the viewer, go participating. So make sure you go looking for my postings on Facebook and Instagram as to when I'm taking submissions for your questions. And then also be on the lookout for my Saturday night Facebook Live so we can continue the conversation not only in my Neighborly Natalie series, but also over there as well. So make sure you go checking things out on my social media pages, and I'll see you next week.